What's up, jerks? Brian's been posting some stuff lately to cheer you up and some stuff to kind of share his feelings. And I've been largely quiet since entering home quarantine. You can see my wife gave her first attempt at a haircut. The part sticking up is because I didn't have to go to work, so I don't do a great job styling it. But she did a decent job. I could definitely relate to a lot of what Brian has shared. Being trapped in my home has definitely had some effect on me psychologically. Like, I'm a person that really thrives being around other people and being around other things, and also just likes the option to go outside. So even on days where I don't go outside, I want that to be my choice. And being told I can't, especially when we had like 5 or 6 days of rain in a row, where like even just getting my dog to go out and go to the bathroom was this real chore, it does feel very trapped, and it does mean a lot. But today I wanted to focus on like some good coming out of this, because I think there is good coming out of this, and I hope that we don't lose sight of that, because I think there's a lot to be learned from all of this. Both inside gaming and out, I'm going to focus a lot on gaming today. Outside, yeah, I'm going to focus on gaming, because that's what we do here. We work to game. I think that this has been a good chance to really test a lot of the things we say. I have a tendency of saying things like, well, if I just had more time. Well, now you don't have a commute, right? So like, I'm working the same 8-hour day that I would work before, but now I have no commute in the morning. If I want to take a lunch break, an hour lunch break was acceptable in most of the jobs I've held in recent years. And that's because they assume that you're going to be like going out and getting food and then coming back, and that's an hour's how long that takes. And now I find like I can go into the kitchen and I can warm up what we had for dinner last night, maybe change it a little, enjoy that, and then I can like play some video games or take my dog for a walk or watch a TV show or spend some time with my wife if our lunches overlap, because we're not always, we take lunch when it makes sense for the workday, not at a specified time. So like there's a lot of time created. So that's the first thing that I would say is like, what can we learn from this? Especially people who are working from home in jobs that like maybe are salaried positions or something like that, where you kind of just do the work as it comes in. So you may have a lot of time created. So I would focus on that. I know that there's a lot of bad news around this. I could make a post about bad news, and I don't think that's hard to find. I know there's a lot of people that are struggling to make ends meet. I know there's a lot of people that are feeling extremely anxious, and that's before we even talk about people that are actually getting sick. There's a huge economic and emotional impact to this, even for people that are not and will not experience symptoms, much less severe symptoms. It's a lot. And so I'm focused on the good here, and I realize there's a lot of like, well, what if? The second thing that I would like to point out is like, what a great time for video games. Like, video game playing numbers are way up. There's a ton of people getting into games that maybe they've never had time for, or they've always had priorities outside of the home, and they're getting a chance to try this medium that means so much to us, because maybe before they hang out at a bar and played trivia, or they had like a soccer league and stuff. And like, I hope that when all this ends, if those things had healthy aspects to them, like the exercise or being around actual physical other people, I hope that stays. But, maybe they're now just watching so much TV that some of their TV time is spilling over into game time because they just can't watch anymore. And that, in my mind, is a good thing. Gaming is a little more active than TV, and taking some of your TV time and putting it in games, I feel has more good than bad. And so seeing the amount of gaming go up is awesome. Getting to games in your backlog you've never gotten to before is awesome. The fact that we have digital releases, never been a better time. The fact that GeForce Now has a 90-day free trial, that Shadow PC has come down way in cost. This is not an ad for them. That's just true. We do ad spots for them, but this is not one of them. It's a great time for cloud gaming. It's a great time for playing video games. And video games offer a lot. I've found that playing multiplayer games has given me some semblance of like the social touch that I need, the ability to interact with my brothers and my friends in a way that a Slack channel can't provide, in a way that working home alone, where, you know, yes, it's me and my wife, but like there aren't coworkers here, there aren't, you know, other people to interact with, and especially to have those conversations that, you know, you would have with them that you wouldn't have with maybe somebody you live with. You know, the benefit of going out in the day and interacting with multiple people is that I don't have to interact with them all in the same way. And so if I want to have a conversation about one thing with this person and I want to have a conversation with this other thing with this other person, I can fulfill that need. And now I just have one audience. There's just one person who has to listen to me talk all day. And, you know, games is a chance to hop online and be in a voice chat and share something and share joy with people. And I've really enjoyed that. So I would say kind of some perspective on this is like, assuming that you're not in economic ruin, right? And being strapped sucks, but like assuming that this isn't literally to the point that it's breaking you. In which case I really am sorry. And I hope that governments can step in and find a way to seek out those people and help them. And that's a much bigger conversation. And assuming that this isn't physically affecting you. So either somebody you care about or you yourself or somebody you know getting very sick and this really causing long-term damage or sometimes death. There has to be a silver lining for me to process this. That's just my way of dealing with things. There has to be some benefit to what we can get out of this. It can't just be that all these healthy people are sacrificing to make sure that they don't get sick and that more people don't get sick, but all these people that do get sick are just tragically affected forever and ever, because there is a lot of long-term damage that can come out of this. There has to be something else good. It can't simply slowing the spread isn't good enough. And the chance to try living a little differently, where maybe you would have said before that either A, you don't feel like it, or B, that it's too risky. Like employers really, you know, we didn't want to move to work from home because we didn't think it would work. Well, now you have to move to work from home and it is working. And so that's a chance to learn from something that you wouldn't have done otherwise. So when that comes to gaming, this is a chance to play a game you wouldn't have played otherwise. Maybe you don't have that stable of an internet connection because there's too many people online. Awesome. We'll go download Death Stranding or one of the other amazing offline kind of online, like go download something single player. Go get something that doesn't require that, right? To those of us that play MMOs, like MMOs often dominate our time, and so we don't get a chance to play single player. But if you don't have a stable internet connection right now, what a great opportunity to go dive into something that does have a single player component. If you are having trouble interacting with friends right now and you normally play games alone, maybe you even play Final Fantasy XIV pretty alone because it can be played as a single player game. What a great excuse to go and check the top selling stats for multiplayer games right now, or go get a game on sale that's been out forever, and play it with friends. I found myself on the App Store looking for phone games to share with friends because some of my friends are still going to places of work because their job is necessary. But when they're there, there's a lot of downtime. And so they'd love to have something they can check in with because they're working in places where they're looking around and there is nobody there. My brother-in-law's a pilot and he sent me like a picture of one of the nation's busiest airports at like peak hours. And he literally just pans around in the terminal. There's nobody to interact with. So when he has downtime between flights, like, how do you interact? And so finding ways to share stuff with them and to share that moment is a great chance to maybe play something you wouldn't have played otherwise. And that's an awesome thing. So I just wanted to kind of share that message of positivity. I think I need it. So I thought maybe other people would too. I have really been struggling with this. I find that the way I deal with being the best and healthiest version of me, and the way that I fulfill myself like as a person, has a lot to do with continually exposing myself to new things, new people, and continually exercising. I think people who live around me often say things like, well, it's easy because like running comes easy to you, or you like running. But actually it's just that exercise for me, chemically, the things it does inside your brain, makes me a person that I can be happier living with. And without it, there is probably medication that could do the same thing, I assume. We're good at medicating for everything else, but I can kind of self-medicate by going out and manually pushing the endorphins in and going out and manually freeing my brain in that. And so it's not that I like the act of the exercise itself. It's that exercise makes me such a healthier person the rest of the way. But I struggle from motivation. I struggle from the motivation to do it. And so even though I know it's good for me, I don't do it. And so I sign up to go to these classes and I exercise and I go to the same classes at the same time and on a consistent schedule, not because that's convenient for me. That class is available all throughout the day, all days a week. I could literally sign up at the last second and I could just drop in whenever I want, but I don't. I set a schedule, I put it in my calendar, I book my spot in those classes a month out, and I do that because there are other people in those classes that I consistently am in class with, and that way I have like some accountability to them. And I have to force myself to go into this place where like I feel that, okay, I've paid for it already. I have to do it. These people are expecting me there. They'll notice if I'm gone. It's the workouts that I go to, they have this board up there where it shows how everybody's doing. So some part of the competitive nature in me is like, okay, can I do better than I did last time? Can I do better than somebody who maybe in that activity places around the same position as me? Oh wow, their running is getting faster. Can my running get faster? Oh, they're using more weight on this exercise. Can I use more weight on that exercise? And so like I have to find ways to gamify that, even though I know that without it I'm unhealthy. And now that gym's closed and I'm being stuck at home. And so like it's affecting me, and it's affecting my mood, and it's affecting the way I feel and my energy levels. And I'm not sick. Like it's doing all those things and I'm not sick. And so for people that are sick, or people that have things that require medication, or things that require counseling, or things that are much more severe than what I'm going through, I can't imagine how hard this is. There's not a winning scenario here. And so I just wanted to kind of shine a little bit of what I think is the better side of this. And I think coming out the other end, we can learn, okay, what industries can work from home, what industries can thrive in ways we didn't think they could. Does gaming have a different role than maybe we thought it did? Are there different ways to game than we as individuals would have done, or the industry realizes, wow, there's different ways that people can interact with our games? We didn't make those types of games because we didn't think people would like that. They got exposed to it because they were locked at home, but they'd like to keep that style of gaming in their life. Maybe people who didn't really play a certain type of game will continue to play it after this. And I would like to think that there's a lasting impact, that the goal is not to just get back to before all of this, that the goal is to learn from this and realize we can't go back. There are people who are permanently affected. We can't go back. So instead, since we have to forge forward into a new version of where we were, can we go ahead and improve some things? Can we make some things better than they once were? Because if not, I'm distinctly aware of things in and around my life and in and around those I care about's lives, and looking at the greater globe, what we do see on the news. I'm very aware of the things we're losing. I just want to try to find some things that we're getting, so that this isn't just depressing. So that's kind of my thoughts. I just wanted to kind of look into a camera and talk to you guys for 10-15 minutes and share what I think some positives that can come out of this are, and maybe phrase it in a way where you guys can think of some more that I haven't thought of. Let me know down below, like what is good about this? What is this an opportunity to live and grow and learn and create joy in our lives? Because I don't think it's hard to find the areas that I'm struggling, and the areas that you might be struggling, the areas that it could be better. I want to focus on the area, like let's just focus on the better. There's a lot of posters about the negative. Let's do one for the positive. My name is Chris with Work to Game. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I hope that you really can find some joy, and I'll talk to you next time.